Well, good morning. We're here for our weekly Marion County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Wednesday, August 7th, 2019. We're in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street, Northeast Salem, Oregon. And as always, we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know I forgot to say, what? Oh, I forgot the time.
It's all right.
Okay, and I also forgot to say, will you join us?
Yeah, wouldn't that have been swell?
Yeah. And my computer's like continuing to just spiral, so I'm going to have to use paper. We have nobody signed up for public comment this morning, so we can go right into our consent calendar. And I think, is it your turn?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent calendar. Under Board of Commissioners, approve an order authorizing the Marion County Chief Administrative Officer to delegate permission to the Marion County Chief Financial Officer to authorize and sign contracts and solicitations on behalf of Marion County. Under Business Services, approve a recommendation to adopt and establish the pay grade and classification for Marion County Chief Human Resources Officer and Marion County Senior Data Specialist. Under Public Works, schedule final consideration to adopt an administrative ordinance granting zone change comprehensive plan amendment conditional use, case number 18-008, Apostolic Christian Faith of Silverton for August 14th, 2019. Under Sheriff's Office, approve amendment number 3 to the contract for services with Healthcare Services LLC to add $2,405.79 for a total of $153,405.79 to provide temporary nursing staff at the Marion County Jail and extend the date to August 31st, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and second on the consent calendar. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. First item under action today is Public Works to consider an approval of an order appointing Alton Hoover to the Marion County Parks Commission with the term ending July 31st, 2023. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Marion, Environmental Services Division Manager. Pardon me for my voice this morning. But before I introduce Mr. Hoover and he gives a little background, I'd like to do a little background on our Parks Commission. I always want to give a little plug here. The Parks Commission was formed in September of 1958. It consists of 7 citizens that help advise staff and the Board of Commissioners on kind of all things related to our 18 active parks in Marion County. Our next meeting is September 19th from 1 to 3 out at the Public Works Silverton Road campus. And our group meets every other month on the 3rd Thursday. So for anybody that's out there that's want to come attend and learn a little bit more about our parks, you're more than welcome to do so. Currently, our Parks Commission has been very active in kind of doing a cursory complete review of our 18 active parks. Each commission member has taken on at least 3 parks where they've gone out and visits and kind of do an audit, bring that back to the Parks Commission, and then kind of help advise staff on future projects and budget considerations that we then move forward to the board. This has been very helpful. We've seen some considerable improvements in our parks and our park system, and we are now receiving compliments on a regular basis. So it's nice to have that interaction out there with our public. But I'll quit speaking and I'll let Mr. Hoover tell you a little bit about himself.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Alton Hoover. I'm a resident of Marion County. My wife and I moved here a little over a year ago. Little aside, my wife is British, so she loves parks and gardens. And my background by profession, I'm actually a chief technology officer. I've been a principal investigator for the National Science Foundation. I was on the faculty at Georgia Tech and have 20 plus years of management experience, project management experience, etc. We love the county. We love the green open spaces and the gardens and the parks, and I've actually been touring the parks. We have a young puppy, and so he likes going too. But on a personal level, I've always believed you need to get involved with the community and give back. Prior to moving here, we were in Napa, California, and I was co-chair of the Civil Service Commission there and involved in 100 Men Who Give a Damn about Napa County. And I am pleased and honored to be able to have the opportunity to work with the Parks Commission.
Great. Mr. Hoover, how did you find out about it, about the Parks Commission and your application?
When I first moved here, after getting the house organized and spending a lot of time doing that honey-do list, I looked at both the city and the county and what were the opportunities to be able to serve. And I went to the county website and I saw this position was open and submitted an application.
Great. So, and I see on your resume that you served in Napa on several different things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. How long did you live in Napa? Just curious.
We lived in Napa about 5 years, and we liked Napa very much, but my wife wanted to move to a little bit greener, less dense area, and honestly, the state and city taxes are driving the citizens out.
Out of Salem soon, too, right? No.
I hope not. No, we find it quite comfortable here.
Great. Well, welcome to Oregon. Welcome to. Are you in the city limits? Do you live in the city
We
limits?
live in the city limits.
Welcome to Salem. Yeah.
I had a relative friend in Sonoma, so I spent a little time there. So I'm wondering if you timed out with the horrible fires there a couple of years ago. Was that?
Actually, we had to evacuate our home because our
wonder.
house backed up to Redwood Creek, and the fires got within less than a quarter of a mile.
Yikes.
Wow.
And then it notes that you walked around and were looking at Eola Park as somewhere to further develop. So you're pretty familiar with that already, it sounds like, too.
Mm-hmm. And we recently went on a tour of some of the other parks here, and it's admirable, the investment that the county is making for the community.
Brian brought it up, but we really have, especially up the North Fork and Kevin leading that, but all the parks have been upgraded, given more of a look, trying to make them usable and now maybe expanding to some new sites. So I'm supposed to be like the liaison with the Parks Commission, so you'll see me some, but the meetings seem to always conflict, but I do watch and I like the direction it's going.
Okay.
Mr. Hoover, how do you feel about soccer?
I was just going to ask. I was going to ask that question.
That would be football, according to my wife.
Very good.
I watched football Thursday night last week.
The real.
Interestingly enough,
Yeah,
The Broncos.
although my wife is British, she's
Sure.
a huge basketball fan.
Oh, wonderful.
And so we don't watch soccer, we watch the NBA.
Very nice.
You want to follow up on that, Commissioner?
I just was maybe some clarification. Do you have negative feelings towards soccer? Positive feelings? What's your general
I
sentiment?
played when I was in college.
Oh,
From an athletic standpoint, I swam on the swim team and played soccer.
that's good enough for me.
Okay, because
Wait a minute, I got to reconsider. No, Chair Cameron, I would like to make a motion that we approve an order that appoints Alton Hoover to the Marion County Parks Commission with a term ending July 31st, 2023.
And I'll second the motion.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Well, all I would say is if you don't like soccer, Commissioner here will at least get you to neutral, right? Right. But I still like Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night on TV, football. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Thank you. Thanks you for your service, and we'll look forward to seeing the good things that you bring to the commission.
And
Yeah.
I look forward to working with you gentlemen.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, too. All right, next action item is consider adoption of an administrative ordinance granting zone change ZC case hashtag 19-004, Larry and Noreen Chamberlain, trustees of the Chamberlain Family Trust. And Joe, we are here.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the
Welcome.
record, Joe Fenimore. This item before you today was an application to change the zone from commercial office to commercial general on about a quarter-acre parcel located on Hudson Avenue, northeast in Salem. The applicant proposes changing the zone to commercial general to broaden the potential range of uses on the property. The property is located on the south side of Hudson Avenue northeast, about 240 feet east of its intersection with Lancaster Drive, and is currently vacant. All adjacent properties are zoned commercial and contain a mixture of retail, service, and office uses. The hearings officer held a public hearing on this application on May 14th, 2019, and on July 8th, issued a recommendation that the board approve the request subject to conditions. Conditions outlined in Exhibit B are listed on the second to last page of the packet and require the developer to obtain building permits, design and construct frontage improvements on Hudson Avenue, and meet any requirements of Marion County Fire District Number 1. The applicant's representative has confirmed to staff that there are no objections to the conditions. The board received the recommendation and held the application for the mandatory appeal period. No appeals were received. The ordinance and findings have been prepared, and notice of adoption was given on July 31st. The ordinance is now set for formal adoption. The options for the board include adopt the ordinance as written, direct staff to prepare a modified ordinance for consideration, choose not to adopt the ordinance at this time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Joe?
Joe, do you know the history of this? It seemed like another one of these weird things where everything else is zoned one way and except for this one little piece.
I think that there was a strip along Lancaster that was zoned commercial retail, and then there was commercial office east of that, and people had come in at different times and changed those from commercial office to commercial retail, and this is like the last piece,
Got it.
kind of like a leftover island in there.
I have no questions.
I never
Yeah,
do.
I read the file. It's good. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Is it my motion? Okay. Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt administrative ordinance granting zone change, case number 19-004, Larry and Noreen Chamberlain, trustees of the Chamberlain Family Trust.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. That was one of your quicker
Yes.
zone changes.
Got it figured out.
Okay, next, under Public Works, we consider approval of a purchase order with Enos Paint, Inc. in the amount of $765,000 for the purchase of white and yellow striping paint through June 30th, 2020. And don't you make any
No,
comments.
I'm not gonna, you're the striping expert here. I don't even want to participate. I'll just follow your
Welcome,
recommendation.
Scott.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Scott Wilson, the Operations Division Manager. Public Works has for many years used the cooperative agreement from Multnomah County with Innis Paint Incorporated for the purchase of the traffic markings paint utilized for Public Works and its striping activities. However, that contract price has risen by approximately $1.55 a gallon, and Public Works would now wish to utilize the City of Portland's contract, which only increases the current price by 75 cents a gallon. Some of the impacts for fiscal year 2019 and 20, the purchase order amount will be $765,000. Impacts to the department and external agencies, the paint will be purchased to use to stripe Marion County roads as well as the roads of all of the public agencies that request striping services from Marion County. Options for consideration: approve the purchase order and allow continued purchasing of striping paint from Innis Paint Incorporated off the City of Portland contract at a lower increased price, or deny the approval of the purchase order. Public Works recommends that the Board of Commissioners approve the purchase order and allow continued purchasing of striping paint from Innis Paint Incorporated off the City of Portland's contract at a lower increased price.
So, Scott, this is this is just the increase in the contract, right? The way I read this is the whole contract's $2.8 million. Would that be accurate?
No, this reflects the total price of the contract.
I think it's per
Planned
year.
purchase
Is it per year?
per year for a total of $2.8 million. The anticipated value of the planned purchase is approximately $700,000 per year for a total of 2.8 million. Oh, okay. So that's the total term of the contract. Just for background, the reason I looked at him is because I'm curious how much, if we have any idea what the white side stripe costs per mile when we put it down on paint. Do we know how many gallons we would use and what a gallon cost is?
I do know that for the white paint, we use approximately a little over 26,000 gallons. And then the yellow, we use a little over 23,000.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious how much I wasted
Yeah,
last
so
year when I was in the striping
right
machine,
off.
actually.
And what the removal cost, the cleanup.
Right.
It's a disaster.
Actually, they didn't have to go back. They just said it wasn't that big of a variable line. So, but when we got to the curve, I said, I'm not trying that one. You need to get out there. and
Well,
see if you can do it.
that was gonna be my question,
Okay.
Scott, was there's this legend of Commissioner Cameron striping, and,
It's way up in North Marion County, so it's hard to
Oh,
find.
like that doesn't matter? Is that what you're telling these people? Yeah, that's not.
If you turn right off of some road on Woodburn and you go out there, it's out there someplace, yeah.
I could probably do the math, but what is a gallon of this paint cost?
Currently, the City of Portland contract is $12.75, and that's an increase of, we've been paying, 2018 was $12.25.
Okay.
So the increase to Multnomah County's contract is roughly a little over $14 a gallon. So it's a significant increase.
I guess got one other related question. I don't know if we still do, but we have done striping for other counties around. So these would be, do they provide the paints, or is this all part of that
Yeah, we
supply?
stripe, the counties of Tillamook and Polk, they purchase their own paint, and we just
Okay.
provide the machine, but they also go off of this contract.
All right.
We'll realize these prices.
so if I wanted to stripe crooked lines, I would call you, is that?
Yeah, but we should go over, we should send you over to when we do Polk County.
Yeah.
So that way all the crooked lines will be over there. And we can call Commissioner Pope and say, sorry, we sent a commissioner over to stripe your
Yeah, that
roads.
Independence area is kind of windy anyway. They
Yeah.
wouldn't even know the difference. So, Chair Cameron, I'd like to make a motion that we do approve the purchase
It's kinda
order with
fun. You
Enos
should try
Paint in the amount of $765,000 for the purchase of white and yellow striping paint through June 30th, 2020.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, all right. So we got plenty of paint for the commissioner to go out and practice with. Thank you very much, Scott, and welcome. That concludes our action today. Wow, he is right.
I got some things to talk about.
Okay.
On the calendar.
Russ, good to see you today. You didn't come up and say anything, but thanks for all the work you're doing in the parks. How is the canyon, Little North Fork going this summer? Is things pretty smooth?
It was pretty crazy over the weekend.
I bet, with the heat.
Warmer weather,
Yeah,
but with the summer being what it's been, it hasn't been as hectic.
but no problems, accidents or anything this last weekend that you know?
There was, a person broke his ankle at North Fork, and a little kid fell down at Bear Creek and hit his head, so they brought an ambulance in for that.
All
Should
right.
be on the
But other
microphone.
than that, it's been really good.
Why don't do you mind, we haven't adjourned yet, you mind just coming over and, yeah, Sam made a point, you should probably in the microphone so people could hear the response. So we're talking about the Little North Fork Parks, so Little North Fork and Salmon Falls basically are the two parks up there. And we've been working with the Forest Service and BLM to try to make that corridor safer and more fun. And last weekend was probably the hottest weekend of the summer.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And how was the traffic and the parking, do you know?
The traffic at North Fork was very similar to the video that you've watched last year, where it was a quarter of a mile before the park and a quarter of a mile on the exit side of the park. That's how far back they were parking.
And that's a no parking zone, so was the sheriff up there writing tickets, or?
Yeah, they were. Deputy Farron was up there for sure. I know there was a couple of other deputies that showed up to Bear Creek for the child that fell down. So, but yeah, it was pretty crazy at North Fork, as you can imagine.
Yeah. And how's the money collection been? Remember, we were getting broke into a lot, and is that system working pretty good?
Yes, we now have two people that, on either end of the week that go up and pull the boxes at night.
Yeah.
So we haven't had any thefts so far this season.
And are we pulling the Forest Services for them too? Do we go all the way up to Opal Creek at their trailhead to pull
We
theirs?
we go to 3 pools, that's as far as we go.
3 pools, okay. Good. Any other things you want to talk about in the parks this summer? Appreciate the work you're doing.
I appreciate that, thank you. We're having a really good summer. The shelter project at Scotts Mills is just about finished. We're starting a project at La Biche Village. We're going to have a picnic shelter out there. Spong's Landing will get a slurry seal in September. And then we're working on just other small projects here and there throughout the park system.
Probably feels pretty good for you to see all that stuff get done with all the years you've been serving there, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's night and day.
Good,
It's just been a dream come true.
right. Any other comments? Great. All right, well, thank you. Got a new commissioner for your Parks Board, and appreciate the work you're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Right,
I appreciate you guys.
I'm actually going to go to Opal Creek on Friday.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go up and hike in the Jawbone Flats Friday morning before well, it's supposed to rain, but hopefully before it gets too hot is what I was thinking.
Yeah, the cooler weather should keep some of the people away.
Maybe
Yeah.
we get you some cans of this
Well-
new paint and you can stripe a trail up there. That'd be nice.
That is the nicest road in Marion County as far as all the signs and the striping and everything that goes on up there, except for when you get to the end of our road. I don't know, is the Forest Service graded that gravel road? Should I take a truck instead of a car?
I would probably do that. From what my staff is telling me, it's pretty rough.
I don't have the truck, yeah, all right. Well, I'll give you a report on what I see on the way up and down.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Sam, you got something to say.
Why aren't you gonna have read places we'll be? and then-
Oh, yeah, you better read the
Unless
calendar.
you want to do it.
No, you do so well.
Today is Wednesday, August 7th, and we are in board session at the Center Hearing Rooms, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. This afternoon, at noon, we will be at the Woodburn Marion County meeting located at Luis's Taqueria, 523 Front Street in Woodburn. This evening at 5:30 in the evening, we have the Marion County Fair Board meeting located in the Commissioner's Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building at 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. Tomorrow, Thursday, August 8th at 7:30 in the morning, we have a Kaiser Marion County breakfast located at Sherry's Restaurant at 4998 River Road North in Kaiser. Tomorrow, Thursday, August 8th at 3:30 in the afternoon, we have an executive session for FOPO bargaining pursuant to ORS 192.6602D, located in the Silverton Conference Room on the 5th floor of this building, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. On Tuesday, August 13th at 7:30 in the morning, we have a State and Marion County meeting located at the Cover Bridge Cafe at 510 North 3rd Avenue in Stayton. And then at 3:30 in the afternoon on Tuesday, August 13th, we have calendar review located at Silverton Conference Room on the 5th floor of this building, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. On Tuesday, August 13th at 4 in the afternoon, we have Under Sheriff Troy Clausen's retirement celebration located at the Pringle Community Hall at 606 Church Street Southeast in Salem. On Wednesday, August 14th at 9 a.m., we have board session located in this room, the Senator Hearing Room, at 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. On Wednesday, August 14th at 12:30 in the afternoon, we have a Mid-Valley Jobs Council meeting at the Willamette Workforce Partnership Boardroom located at 626 High Street in Salem. And then on Wednesday, August 14th at 2:30 in the afternoon, we have a Marion County Housing Authority Board work session on the Housing Choice Voucher Program located in the Silverton Conference Room on the 5th floor of this building, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem.
Okay, now, you had some things you
Well,
wanted
I
to
thought
talk
we'd
about.
give little reports. We went around the county last night for a night out thing.
Yeah, I heard you intervened at,
Intervened?
well, you went to Wood Park Terrace and had the best food at
I
at
did.
Neighborhood
That's
Night
why
Out, I'm telling you.
I
It
saw
was
you there
pretty-
after me. They said, would you like a taco? And I'm thinking, well, yeah, so
Oh,
what?
my gosh.
So just, how many? Oh, there are a couple.
I had
They're
two.
pretty small. So I went away and, oh my goodness, I had to go back, said, kind of like, do you do seconds? Yeah, sure. They were delicious. Oh, and
You guys were holding
I
out.
didn't get her name, but she does like a little events.
Yeah,
and
catering.
You would want to do
The
it. exact
exact same thing happened to me. I went up there and I go, she goes, what would you like? And I go, well, just give me 2, right? Because they're the little
Yeah, yeah.
ones, right? With the spicy pork and the cilantro and the onions and a habanero salsa. And I ate those 2. I went back, I had 3 more.
Oh.
I had 5 tacos.
I didn't know you could do that.
You
So-
guys were holding out on me. See, if I had known
It's-
the good food was
Well,
there.
last year they just did hamburgers there. And this year they had the tacos and it was, oh my God.
Yeah, real good lemonade. It was fun, but I spent a little bit of time trying to talk to people. There's a lady named Maria that works for the Housing Authority. I said, introduce me to some people. So I met some young families there. One fellow named Daniel, he's very happy, been there 5 years. And another lady, I don't recall her name. I commented, I don't know how it came up, and it was one of those interpreter situations, and I mentioned that there was 11 in my family, and she just kind of looked at me like, so what? And then I got it back, and there was 14 in hers, so it didn't make much of an impression on her, but she had 5 or 6 kids. Everybody's happy, and I felt good about it. I heard comments, and they're all happy that, remember, we've had trouble, you and maybe no trouble with the decks there, and got those squared away, and it's much nicer. But the other thing, listening to staff, I won't give names here, but high compliments for Candace and morale and activities and just really an upgrade to the situation. They found one of the fellows said, you know, I was just so close to being gone a year or 2 ago and thought I'd kind of give her a chance, and he's just so happy he stayed, and it's really positive. He also has, and I've commented on this and thought I had it fixed. He's got a vehicle, small pickup that was involved in a hit and run wreck, and we've been driving it around for years. I thought I had that taken care of because I asked, "Is that gone yet?" No, so got to work on that yet. Got to upgrade the equipment, and so I thought I'd catch you, but you were a little late. Let's be honest. So I left, and then I went to Monitor afterwards, and I got a cousin there. I'll say his name just to embarrass him, Jay Augustus, pretty active in their little community.
I met Jay.
Do you know Jay? Yes, you do.
Right.
And he said, we just kind of feel like we're left out. It's half Clackamas County, half kind of the town site is Marion County. I did get the impression that and I heard it a couple different times, that those living in Marion County felt a lot more secure. And there's been a lot of crime on the other side. I said, well, Kevin's gonna take care of that with the wall. But I didn't see any foundation work or anything, so it's a ways off. I will say.
Isn't there a creek really close there that
Butte
divides
Creek,
us?
yeah, same one
Right.
in Scotts Mills, it's all good, fix
Yeah.
that. Jeremy, I believe it's Jeremy Landers, is that right? His deputy, he was there and talked to him for a while, and then someone I didn't get the chance to talk to him, a deputy from Clackamas County did come with the dog, so they at least had a presence and cared. But I don't know if there's something we can do to kind of, maybe it's through the sheriff's department, say, we're hearing complaints. There was, if you recall, 6 months ago, a horrible crime, murder thing right in that area, I think on the Clackamas County side, but it doesn't matter. If we can't heighten cooperation, watch, back up, whatever it takes to make those people feel better. But I heard that, but as a little community that's proud of themselves and gets along, you can just see it was like everybody just happy to see everybody, and it was fun. I didn't plan on eating there after all the tacos, but okay, there was a piece of apple pie homemade sitting right. What are you gonna do? It's gone. No theft was reported.
I had a similar issue where I'd gone through the line and then just surreptitiously the Mount Angel police officer sneaks over and goes, I just finished some brats. If you guys, I don't know if you'd want
the
one.
inside stuff.
And I was like, no, I couldn't possibly. Okay, I'll have a brat.
So you started,
I just did Mount Angel.
you didn't do Sublimity? Or, okay, I told people that you were doing Sublimity, and I knew you did Mount Angel, and I thought you were working your way home, but I did the Wood Park Terrace.
Yeah.
And had a hard time driving back because I was so full from 5 tacos.
Oh, yeah, wait, you just said 3, now it's 5? Oh, my.
No,
God.
I had
and then
2,
3.
and then I went back and had,
3 more.
Oh, my,
I had 2
I
more.
can't even do
No.
math like that.
No, I had 2 more because I wanted to try the chicken and the non-spicy pork. And then I went back 1 more time
So
for the
this is
final
science, not
spicy.
self-gratification.
No, it was, yeah, I mean, a restaurant guy, I gotta always taste the food. And I had to try all 3 sauces, because they had those 3 sauces
I wish I'd have
there.
thought all that.
The habanero was the best, and I had to have 2 bottles of water. But then my daughter said, hey, I'm at neighborhood night out in Kaiser.
Oh,
And so I thought, well, I'll swing by there, and I got there, and Mayor Clark was there.
yes?
Right around the corner from where my daughter lives, and there was probably 35, 40 people there. And they were doing a barbecue. They had a police officer there, and then took some pictures with the mayor and my family, and then it was about 7:30, I guess. They finally rolled up shop there. So I got to 2.
Yeah, good.
2 events
I
last
wish
night.
I would, I thought of it, and I could have made Mont Angels, it turns out, you know,
On
I'm
the
just
way back.
outside coming like 3 miles out. Thought, should I pull in, but it was kind of getting to it on edge, and.
You know, what was it, 3 years ago, I think I did Gates, and they had a huge one up in Gates with the fire hall and all that. So next year, I'm gonna try to do something in the canyon again. So
Okay.
maybe Gates and do Sublimity and I did Sublimity and I did Staten one time. I wonder, like, we ought to try to do, if St. Paul does it or Aurora, get up there somehow next year.
I was underperforming, I apologize.
Oh,
I didn't
sure.
realize that you were supposed to hit multiple ones.
Well, you try
Oh,
to.
yeah, once you get the brats, you're kind of done.
Yeah, Mayor Clark said they had 41 organized in Kaiser.
Oh,
And they take their teams and, you know, and she was
But,
with a police officer and, because the people that were doing this one that I was at said last year, they had the fire department there. And I said, well, the fire department has a team and they're going, you know, someplace else. So, we maybe could do a little better job coordinating with our sheriff where they're asked to go and see if we can,
Yeah, that's a good
you know,
idea.
because
Yeah.
they're the ones that get the requests. We don't get them here. So that'd be good.
I'm kind of backed up by what you people are reporting, but it seemed like the people I spoke to were happy and it was positive, like good time.
I got the same feedback. Although the guy said the old commissioner was here before you.
Oh, wonder what kind of nonsense is that?
I said, I'll tell him that the old commissioner was here before me. He didn't say that, but
Oh.
the feedback was, this gentleman said, I was thinking about retiring. I don't know if this is the same guy you
Sounds
talked to.
similar.
I was thinking about retiring, but now I love coming to work. And
That's great.
it was all about the whole leadership thing.
That's great.
And it was, you know, and it's just really good to see. And he mentioned Candace and what a great job Candace is doing. And I looked at him and I said, it's great to hear it from you because we see it on our side too. So it's really good. But she hasn't been feeling well because I asked Jason, last year she was there and he said she hasn't been feeling well and the heat wasn't probably good, so she stayed
Yes.
away.
I
Yeah,
look forward to talking to her there, but she wasn't.
yeah. All right, well, we'll get around to more next year. Anything else that be interesting to follow up on from the sheriff's side on the parks and what happened up at Little North Fork last weekend when it was 95 degrees, so.
We've had a bat bite. You're aware of
I
that?
saw
Up in-
that.
Up in your area, just so you know, don't be handling it.
I saw that, but I don't want to scare anybody, but it was at Brighton Bush.
Yeah, that's real close to Detroit.
I know, it's only 10 miles away. Do bats fly that far?
Oh, sure, just
Now-
on a regular basis.
Carrie
That's like
said
3 mosquitoes away.
The person who got bit was poking the bat. The bat was on the ground and the person was poking the bat.
That wasn't in the newspaper.
So-
It basically said in the newspaper, don't mess with them if
Yeah, I
they're on
think
the
I
ground.
kind of knew that.
So I think, you know, don't
If you
poke,
see a
don't poke
bat-
bats when
if-
they're on the ground.
If you see a bat on the ground, it means it's probably ready to die because it has rabies. Just stay away from it.
Don't go close to it.
And they were from out of the state. They're visitors.
Yeah, makes sense.
Probably Californians.
Wouldn't you think?
Probably Californians that never seen a bat or something, right?
Well, I mean, that poor kid's gonna have to go through a terrible treatment now. I mean, you really don't want that.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't a kid, was it?
15-year-old, I think, is my understanding.
Okay, 'cause that wasn't in the newspaper. They didn't say, they didn't want to give me any details.
There is one bad one, since we're just visiting, that I talk about, has implications even. There was a guy, maybe you saw it, cut off his ankle bracelet last night, and they were searching for him, just found him this morning. But he's part of this terrible crime ring that we've had complaints about in Staten. He's also the one, makes it close to me, literally broke into my son's house in the middle of the night,
That's
armed,
terrible.
When was this?
about 6 months ago.
Oh,
Yeah. Thankfully, they didn't hear the ruckus till he was leaving, but could you imagine 1 or 2 in the morning, guy came through the kitchen window, climbed up on their counter, with the TV going in the living room, they were asleep, and wife heard a noise, and then he went out, but he'd stolen everything, and later they found his bag with a gun in it. You love that. Anyway, he's been in our jail. I think he's the one that Staten complained about 6 or 8 months ago that we weren't holding. So this is one we got to work on and be aware of. They found him again, but what is someone like that being on probation with an ankle bracelet would be the first question in my mind.
Well,
You're
I just-
kind of half laughing at me, but it's pretty serious.
This
No,
goes
I'm not
back to
laughing
that whole
at you.
G-Pod thing. I mean, I really think we have to figure out a way to open G-Pod.
it's a serious. In fact, I copied you guys in on the Mayor Bennett email.
Yep.
Yes, I
don't know if
saw
you
that
it.
one too.
And then I'm just looking at my email here, and the sheriff has responded to her. She responded back to me, and he's talking about the East Salem Public Safety Service
This
District and where they're at, and you can't. I don't know what we can do about landlords and not investing in their property, but certainly it looks like he's got some plans over there.
But your answer was very good. I'm going to give you credit for once. I really liked it. You told her, hey, yes, we know there's problems. We've got the sheriff's district coming on, that should really give them relief and somebody to work these kind of areas and situations, and the lighting that you mentioned in East Salem, so.
Well, I'll forward you her other response, because she's still not really
Well, she hadn't seen the
happy. She said she couldn't attend the People's Church meetings because of health problems, but, well, I'm sure we can get one of the deputies to go out and talk to her and get some specifics.
But
Yeah.
isn't this exactly what we've been doing to address those kind of problems in an area that hasn't been served adequately? So I don't know. Yeah, there's always more you could do, but this is certainly a step that ought to make it better.
Well, it's going to be a big deal when we have those additional deputies out there in the fall. I mean, I think there's just
Because
going to be
part
a
of the
world of
deal is to
difference.
be watching, to learn the people, characters, and just that presence should,
Yeah.
she described thugs, and I can just picture, it doesn't sound happy at all, that hang out in an area. Well, those will be watched.
But there's been, just in the last 10 days, hasn't there been like 6 shootings or something like that?
Salem's,
Between
yes,
Salem-
three.
4.
I saw 3 in
Was it 3?
Salem. Yeah.
Well, and one of them's in our area, and it's like a Portland thing.
Yeah, you
It's
can
kinda-
get on the news and find out how many shots.
Yeah, the sooner we can get those deputies out there, I think the better.
All right. Anything else? We're going to Woodburn to have Mexican food? I didn't get enough
Yeah.
last night.
Well, I missed out, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, the ceviche tostada is really good. What do you get when we go there?
I don't know, whatever their kind of
Enchiladas?
special is, and chips, I like the chips.
I always bum your chips. I don't need any chips after the 5 tacos I ate last
That's
night.
it. Well, that's
All
the
right,
problem.
Jane, you've been awful quiet. You know, you let me run this meeting instead of taking over. You got anything else?
Do not.
All right. She actually asked me if I was okay the other day because you two guys were using legal counsel a lot and I'm not.
Well, you just have to get in there and bug her more. I
Oh.
told her I used to be the lawyer that got bugged by my clients all the time, and now I get to be the client that bugs the lawyer all the time. It's much better being on this side.
Well, they did a lot of work on public safety for us and redoing all those agreements and bylaws, so I'm kind of happy with where we're at. We're having our first public safety work session coming up. That's getting scheduled, so.
Sorry to hear that I'm on her pest list. How did that
She
happen?
didn't say that. She didn't say that. All right, before we get in deeper trouble, we will adjourn. Pest list.